Hey, Vsauce, Mike. Let's take a moment to recognize the heroes who count. Canadian Mike Smith holds the world record for the largest number counted to in one breath, 125. But the world record for the largest number ever counted to belongs to Jeremy Harper from Birmingham, Alabama. In order to set the record, Harper never left his apartment. He got regular sleep, but from the moment he woke up in the morning until the moment he went to bed at night, Harper did nothing but count. He streamed the entire process over the internet and raised money for charity while doing it. But after 3 months of counting all day, every day, he finally reached the world record. 1 million. Now, a million might not sound like a lot, but think of it this way. 1,000 seconds is about 17 minutes. But a million seconds is more than 11 days. And a billion seconds, well, that's more than 31 years. There's no full video online of Harper counting all the way to a million. But you can watch John Harchick count all the way to 100,000 if you have 74 hours to spare. John also has some other channels. One involves more than 300 videos of himself eating carrots. Another, more than 3,000 videos of himself drinking water. Many of John's videos literally have no views. They are as lonely as a video on YouTube can get. A great way to find such videos is a website made by Jan Vanderkruisen. This website autoplays videos on YouTube that no one has yet watched. John and Jeremy, as well as Mike, the one-breath counter, counted like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. But that's not the only way to count, and it doesn't seem to be the one we're born with. Additive counting is the one we're all familiar with, where each next step is just one added to the last. But what if we multiply by a number instead? Well, that kind of counting is logarithmic, from arithmos, meaning number, and logos, meaning ratio, proportion. On this scale, similar distances are similar proportions. 1 is a third of 3, and 3 is a third of 9. 4 is a third of 12, and so on. Our brains perceive the world around us on a logarithmic scale. It's believed that almost all of our senses are multiplicative, not additive. For example, how loud we perceive a sound to be. 2 boomboxes playing at the same volume don't sound twice as loud as one. In order to make a sound that is perceived as being about twice as loud as one boombox, you actually need 10 times as many. So, 10. And to double that loudness, you would need 100. And to double that loudness, you would need 1,000. Having an intuitive sense of logarithmic scales built into your brain is probably an advantage when it comes to natural selection and survival, because often proportion matters more than absolute value. For example, is there 1 lion hiding over there in the shadows, or 2? Is a very different question than, are there 96 lions about to attack us, or 97? Sure, in both cases I'm just talking about 1 extra lion, but adding 1 lion to 1 lion doubles the threat. Adding 1 lion to 96, well, that's basically nothing. Logarithmic thinking and feeling may explain why life seems to speed up as we get older. It seems like I was a child forever, and in college, in my early 20s, just whizzed by. And logarithmically, that makes sense, because each new year that I live is a smaller fraction of all the other years I've already lived. When you turn 2 years old, the last year of your life is half your life. But when you turn 81, that last year that you've lived, well, that's just a tiny part of the other 80 that you know. Logarithmic thinking isn't always helpful, especially in scenarios where proportion doesn't logically matter, but we nonetheless act like it does. One of my favorite examples is the psychophysics of price paradox. This is something almost all of us do. Research has found consistently that people are willing to put a lot of effort into saving $5 off a $10 purchase, but they won't put much effort into saving $5 off a $2,000 purchase. It's $5 saved either way, but our natural obsession with proportion leads us astray. Take a look at these pictures. Can you tell how many objects are in each of them? You probably can't. It's like really easy. You can tell if there are 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 objects in a photo without even needing to count. How are you doing that? Is it some sort of sixth sense? No. Psychologists call it subitizing. We can intuitively, at a glance, determine whether there are about 4 or fewer objects in a photo. This has been part of human culture for a very long time. And it may be the reason so many tally systems from all over the world, all through history, wind up having to do something different when counting the number 5. When estimating or comparing amounts above 4, the brain uses what's known as an approximate number system. It's a psychological ability we have that's about 15% accurate. If 2 amounts are at least 15% different, we can tell. So, for example, 100 objects and 115, or 1,000 and 1150 or 1200. If you want to test the accuracy of your approximate number system, Panamath has a pretty good test. We often take linear additive counting for granted, but it's not granted to us. We aren't born with it. We are, however, born with the ability to subitize and use an approximate number system. Children younger than the age of 3 can tell without counting that this line of 4 coins contains fewer coins than this line of 6, even if you spread the 4 coins out into a line that is physically bigger, longer than this line of 6. However, mysteriously, around the age of 3.5, children lose this ability and begin saying that this line of 6 coins contains fewer coins than this long line of just 4 coins. Possibly because around this age, the physical world of objects of physical sizes is more salient in their minds. But then, when they begin to learn linear counting, they reverse back and begin again correctly saying that this line of 6 contains more coins than this line of 4, around the age of 4. The smallest physical thing science could ever hope to observe is the Planck length. In order to look at anything smaller, you would need to have so much energy concentrated in such a small area, a black hole would form and you would lose whatever you were looking at. Okay, with that in mind, here's the question. What number is halfway in between 1 and 9? 5 seems like the obvious answer. There are 4 numbers on either side of 5, it's halfway between, right? Well, if you ask this question of a young child, or a member of a culture that doesn't teach a linear additive number line, their answer will be 3. You see, they are exhibiting the human mind's natural logarithmic tendency, because 3, in that sense, makes sense. 3 is 3 times larger than 1, and 9 is 3 times larger than 3. 3 is in the middle, proportionately. But what if we took that logarithmic number line and changed the 1 to be the smallest thing we can observe, the Planck length, and the 9 to be the largest thing we can observe, the observable universe? What would go in the middle? Well, as it turns out, we would. The number of Planck lengths you could stretch across a brain cell is equal to the number of your brain cells it would take to stretch all the way across the observable universe. So, welcome to the middle. And as always, thanks for watching. Hello again. The YouTube channel Field Day recently gave me an opportunity to explore Whittier, Alaska, one of the strangest places humans call home. To see why and to see me investigate and talk to the locals, click the link in this video's description or on the annotation here on this video. It was really fun, so give it a little looky look. Hey, Vsauce! Michael here. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, right now, in America, there are 106 people named Harry Potter, 1,007 named James Bond, and 8 people named Justin Bieber. There just aren't enough names to go around. There are more than 300 million people in America, but 150,000 last names and 5,000 first names is all you need to name 9 out of every 10 of them. When are we going to run out of names? Perhaps it's already happened to you. If it hasn't, when? 10 years, 20 years, 100, 1,000? When will someone with your exact name become famous? So famous, in fact, that your legacy changes forever to just being not the person people think of when they hear your name. And for that matter, when will every reasonably memorable, pronounceable band name or brand name be taken? When will authors have no choice but to just start reusing book titles? According to Roby Corp, owner of AllMusic.com, the most used band name is Bliss, followed in order by Mirage, One, Gemini, Legacy, Paradox, and Rain. In the past, when fewer bands had already been created and you couldn't just Google up every single band, overlap was easier to get away with, and one-word band names were plentiful. But now, after years and years and years of band formation, well, we have the who, but we also have the what, the where, the when, the why, the how, and even the. In order to stand out now and have your own unique name, you have to be a bit more creative. Oh, Diarrhea Planet, or Betty's Not a Vitamin, which, by the way, is no longer true. Betty became a vitamin in 1994. What about Twitter handles or email addresses? Have we already reached peak username? We already find ourselves often having to use abbreviations, initials, numbers, or just choosing something completely different. Will our children, or our children's children, live in a world where the only remaining Gmail addresses are just random strings of alphanumeric characters? Are we approaching a name crisis? So, should we even call it a name crisis, lest we use up yet another precious name? Maybe you already share your name with someone famous, but if you don't, how long will it be until you probably will? I mean, new famous people are popping up all the time, faster now than ever before because of the internet, and they are gobbling up top Google search billing. Maybe it won't happen until long after you've been dead, but shouldn't the reservoir of names not taken by notable people eventually run out? Computer scientist Samuel Arbesman approximated how many famous people there are alive today, and I think his calculation will be helpful. You see, he points out that if we allow famous to simply mean being notable enough to have your own Wikipedia page, well, because there are 700,000 living people with Wikipedia pages right now, that means 1 out of every 10,000 people on Earth today are famous. Assuming at the least that proportion remains constant, since 255 people are born every minute. That means every hour a future famous person is born. Their name destined to become primarily associated with them, not everyone else who shares their name. All of those people will be relegated to disambiguation or the postnomial, not the famous one. Luckily, if you do the math, you'll find that even at a rate of 1 future famous person born every hour, it would still take dozens of millennia for most of us to expect a future famous person with our exact name to emerge. Plus, names change. New ones become popular, others obsolesce. But for fun, let's not focus on names we popularly use and instead look at how many possible names there can be. The Social Security Administration allows up to 36 letters for a complete name. Now, including spaces, 27 letters filling 36 spots with repetition allowed means 3 sextillion possible combinations. That's more than Earth has atoms. So let's refine our limits. How many pronounceable names are possible? For that, I say we look at what Randall Munroe, the author of the fantastic What If, did when asked about naming stars. If you want to give every single star in the observable universe a unique but pronounceable English name, how long would the names have to be? His approximation is really fascinating. If we define a pronounceable word as a word that contains consonant-vowel pairs, we can roughly figure that there are about 105 different such pair possibilities. 105. That's not too much different from 99. So, funny enough, there are about the same number of consonant-vowel pairs possible as there are two-digit numbers, which means we could give every star in the observable universe a sayable, unique name with just 24 letters, the same number of digits it would take to just number all of them. So the bottom line is, we may each have to give up uniquely owning a word or name that's common today, but the potential number of names that can be made is really hardy. In fact, before we run out of those, our species will likely evolve to communicate in a completely different way. Also, names aren't just labels. A name on a screen, a username, a handle, a screen name, doesn't always act exactly like its owner. Usernames can travel more quickly and more widely than flesh and blood people, and do things that their puppeteers wouldn't normally do away from the keyboard. It's called the online disinhibition effect. If you can't see the people you're interacting with, and they can't see you, you're all just online hiding behind different names than usual, why hold back? I mean, clearly such a system can't be serious business. On the internet, no one knows you're a dog. Why be nice or tell the truth? The subreddit Karma Court investigates and uncovers people who may think that the less face-to-face nature of the internet makes lies easier to get away with. Like this person who posted an image suggesting that they'd been single for a year, but had, users found out, posted 3 months earlier a picture of my girlfriend's cat. These behaviors aren't just what humans do when they can be anonymous or can hide behind different names. These behaviors can also be caused by the names themselves. Studies have found that the username you use can impact how you behave. Your own pre-existing stereotypes and expectations of certain words, shapes, colors can be confirmed by your behavior, in the same way that studies have found NFL and NHL players play more aggressively when wearing black uniforms. Studies have also found that the more sexualized an avatar is you make someone use, the more conscious they will be of their own body image. And the more an avatar resembles you, the more correlated you watching it exercise is with you being more likely to exercise more. It's called the Proteus effect. The features of a cyberspace version of yourself, a username, an avatar, can actually change you, the meat space IRL you. Usernames and avatars then aren't just handles attached to us. Psychologically, we often interact with them as if they're friends, distinct beings we created. They help us out, but they also can influence us, egg us on, dare us to do things we wouldn't normally do because they offer us protection, entertainment. Some make us feel safe, professional, funny, dangerous, attractive. We want cool ones. The cool ones make us look cool. As we go about our daily lives and vie for attention, we are more and more frequently doing so with another name, and exclusively through that name only. So it becomes quite interesting that we're not going to run out of them anytime soon. In fact, they might run out of us first, and may, in many ways, run us. And as always, thanks for watching. Hey, Vsauce. Hey, Vsauce. Michael here. Not knowing what to do with your hands, or offering a handshake when the other person offers a fist bump. Forgetting someone's name. Not having anything to say and forgetting your phone at home so you can't be distracted by it. Getting caught staring at a stranger. Striking up a conversation with someone you don't know in a bathroom. Someone oversharing. Telling the group too much information. Overhearing a couple breaking up. Noticing food in someone's teeth, but not telling them, and well, now it's been too long and bringing it up would be weird. Smelling a fart in an elevator that wasn't yours, but, well, now you can't even react to it or mention that you've noticed it, or pretend you even know what a fart is. All of those things are awkward. We don't like awkwardness. It makes us uncomfortable, cringe. But what is awkwardness? Why is it good? And who is the main character of the universe? To really understand awkwardness, you need to put it in context with the entire family of forces that guide social behavior. Think of this sheet of cardboard as a list of all possible behaviors. It's not infinite because of the limits of science and biology. You can't move faster than light or be in two places at once. You can't wear pants made out of molten lead. Next, there are legal limits, the laws of the state. They delineate what you agree not to do, lest the authorities punish you. Murder, stealing, speeding. What's left is molded by the finer tool of social expectations. It's not illegal to chew with your mouth open or not cover a sneeze on a crowded bus or act disrespectfully, but it is frowned upon, punished not by the police, but by social ostracism, public opprobrium, being called rude, gross, mean, annoying.